Ever since India's heartbreak at the ICC World Cup final, there has been plenty of talk about how exactly it is the team will move forward, and this isn't just limited to the future of the current captain Rohit Sharma or that of certain senior players in the likes of Virat Kohli, but also with regards to the coach. It was a well-known fact that Rahul Dravid, who has been India's head coach across formats since 2021, only had a contract that was running till the conclusion of the World Cup. That meant that even if he had won the ICC World Cup title, there was no guarantee that he was going to continue on into the post. So, as we speak, Dravid is technically not contracted to the team and in fact will not be taking charge of their next series, which is of course the home 5-match T20I series against Australia. It will be VVS Laxman who will be in the dugout for that particular assignment, and if you are able to put two and two together and see where it is the wind is blowing, then it wouldn't really be much of a surprise to know where exactly it is that the Indian team are heading with this particular arrangement. According to credible media reports, Rahul Dravid will not in fact be continuing on as the head coach of the Indian cricket team. He has already communicated this decision to the BCCI, and the BCCI too have already decided on who that successor will be. It will be VVS Laxman. Now, that means that technically, if you're looking at it, Laxman's first proper assignment as the new head coach will in fact be the Australia T20I series, although he has not been confirmed yet as the head coach by the BCCI, but everything does in fact seem to be heading towards that direction. The real question a lot of you must be wondering though is why go from Dravid to Laxman? Yes, both are greats of the game as far as the Indian game and world game are concerned, but if many of the thoughts that people had about Dravid is that he can be a little too conservative, one note, if they were true about Dravid or if they were believed about Dravid, then they share many a concern with in fact Laxman as well, although it is worth noting that Laxman too has done fairly well and in fact forged the same path that someone like a Dravid did. Not only is Laxman currently the head of the National Cricket Academy, the role which was held by Rahul Dravid before he chose to vacate it and become the coach, Laxman also led the under-19 team to an ICC World Cup title. Again, exactly like what Dravid had done before he ended up taking up the NCA role. Not just that, Dravid has, Laxman I should say, unlike Dravid, has shown plenty of keenness to be a part of this job. In fact, during the World Cup, he had flown to Ahmedabad to speak to BCCI officials about taking up the job and what it was that he would expect, on talking about what it is that they would expect from him. In fact, so impressed have the BCCI been with the kind of presentation and sales pitch that he's made that they're set to offer him a multi-year deal to be a part of the team's coaching staff. In fact, the head of the team's coaching staff. And if it's not official now, no problem. It will most likely be official by the time India's tour of South Africa, which you remember is a full tour consisting of T20Is, ODIs and even a couple of test matches that will feature in the World Test Championship consist of. By then, it will be confirmed that Laxman is in fact the new head coach of the Indian cricket team, which of course leads to the natural question, what exactly could be coming next if you're Rahul Dravid? Well, there has been some talk about where exactly he's heading, because on one hand, many expect that he will rejoin the NCA in this previous capacity, you can say, and that would make sense for a number of reasons which we'll get to in just a bit. There's also talks that he is in talks with certain IPL sides to join them as the head coach, which again would make sense if you're talking about Dravid's reasoning in this regard. And what's more important, he's not very keen or will not take up a full-time coaching job similar to the Indian cricket team one. Now, one of the reasons Dravid was in fact, not let's say keen to renew his deal is because Dravid, as a part of the Indian team for many years, actually spent a lot of time on the road and away from home. Ever since he stepped down from that, he has been keen to make up for lost time and spend more time at home. He does have a young family. You remember, even his son is a budding young cricketer. So, Dravid's first focus and priority, and you can understand it entirely, is to be at home with his family. That is why the NCA role makes so much sense. The NCA is in Bangalore and it would ensure that he would only have to go into work during the day and then get that rest of the time with his family as and when he desires. An IPL job would also make sense because again, an IPL gig is only for about a couple of months in the year. Rest of the year, you're not really doing all that much. Unlike say the Indian team gig where you are constantly traveling even without the grind of a World Cup. Which of course makes sense why it is that his stance is that he doesn't want a full-time gig. He's okay taking up a regular part-time job in the cricketing sphere, but not necessarily a full-time coaching gig. That doesn't seem to be his thing. Now, obviously, there is plenty of talk about the legacy that Dravid leaves behind, and it's a mixed one. On one hand, he oversaw a failure in the T20 World Cup where India were absolutely hammered by 10 wickets in that T20 World Cup semi-final against England. But the team's ODI run was a pretty good one until, of course, another failure crept in and they were unable to get over the line in the final. That being said, Dravid does leave with plenty of credit in the bank. The India job is not one of the easier ones in the world of cricket, and he's probably done his coaching reputation no harm should he ever decide to go back in that kind of a sphere ever again in the future. What are your thoughts on Dravid's tenure ending and his replacement in VVS Laxman? And do you think Dravid should potentially look to take more coaching opportunities in the future, even if they mean being full-time ones? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done, and stay tuned. We have plenty more coming your way through the day. For now though, from my side, it is goodbye.